Ben Friedman.
Yo, what's up, Trav?
What's up? Welcome in. Much love, Trav and Ben here.
Hey,
Uh,
hey.
yeah, man, it's been a minute. Obviously, I haven't been playing this year. I'm looking at Vancouver, possibly make a comeback. But you've been playing, you've been coaching the mastermind, and you just had two Grand Prix top eights in like a month.
Yeah, it's weird to think about. It's been a little bit of a heater, and I certainly can't be mad about it. I'm pretty pleased with how everything went, and it's looking bright for the future. I'm glad
Oh,
to,
yeah.
of course, see and hear that you're doing well out there in Hawaii. Living the farm life. It's always good to hear from you.
I love the farm life. It's awesome. I've had a great year, but something about having a competition on my calendar makes me so excited. And a lot of it seeing everyone, it'd be awesome to team up and also see not just pros, but Vancouver is my stomping ground. So I'd see so many people there.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I am looking forward to having you back. Just linking up and trading tales of me playing all these tournaments and you picking all these beats.
I've picked a lot of beats.
Yeah,
I've
I
put
laid
in,
down the beats at the
well,
tournaments. You picked the beats out of the ground. That's how it is.
processed them, planted them, weeded, irrigated, shipped them out. Well, sent them out on trucks, really, but
For sure.
yeah. So, what's been going on? I've seen like a lot of people mad about the rotation, the pro, like some of the new changes to
Oh
the
yeah.
pro system, or like, I don't know, what's the vibe like for that, and also just for you.
Yeah. So personally, my actual Magic play has been uh, to borrow some pro community slang, Dece plus, as they say, right? It's been good. I can't
Not
complain.
D's plus plus.
Uh,
Yeah, no pro
well,
tour
we didn't
top
do
eight.
well. We didn't do well at the Team Pro Tour. I teamed with Oliver Two and Andre Strasky, two
Uh,
very, very strong players. I was blessed to, be on that team. I felt really lucky and really happy that I
mm,
could work with those guys. But it didn't go so well. That's all right. We had a setback. But then, surprisingly, all three of us, each of us top eighted the GP that we played in subsequent. So Oliver lost in the finals of Providence at the same time that I lost in the finals of Los
well,
Angeles.
3 hours ahead. I think.
Yeah, and then the next week, Strasky top eighted with Bant Spirits in Modern out in Brussels. So yeah, it's like, oh, we failed as a group, but individually we succeeded. I don't know what that tells us about our team dynamic, but no, it was great. I've had a lot of Grand Prix success recently. I feel like
Okay, hang on. So you
things are
top
just
aided. What was the first one?
Las Vegas, hometown.
With Grixis, Death Shadow, and Modern with
Yep.
16 lands.
Yeah, the closest thing to a Legacy Delver deck you can get in Modern,
If you're not
and
playing
then
Delver.
yeah, I mean it's not playing Delver because you don't have as good of cantrips to play, but it is still, like a Turbo Gurmag deck.
Mm,
I have been very fond of it. I don't think it's super well positioned right now, but it
mm.
is kind of a labor of love for me. And personally, you've seen firsthand my posts in the mastermind about tweaking it and growing it, tuning it, talking about breakthroughs like playing Mishra's Bauble and Faithless Looting, then a sideboard plan that incorporated Grim Lavamancers to fight humans. It's been all over the place, but it has been a lot of fun kind of working with that deck and then getting rewarded for it.
Yeah, yeah. And if I was coming back to Modern, man, it's so spicy right now. Actually, I'm excited for the formats like Hardened Scales,
Mhm.
Modular, and humans and Bant Spirits and all these emerging tech. But I don't know. I would probably just jam Living End with main deck ley lines, and
Uh, Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, yeah, that sounds fun.
You gotta play what you know, right? Throw what you know, and I'm sure that the rogue factor would work in your favor. And Living End doesn't seem too poorly positioned right now. Also, Leyline of the Void is a
Ley
very,
line
very good
seems
card.
absurd right now.
It is free wins against half the format, which is really good.
Including that affinity deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible right now, really. But yeah, so that was modern. That was kind of the start of a little mini heater, and it was really a heater. I made some pretty significant misplays. I was kind of fatigued during the tournament. I I was hosting a lot of people at my house, and you've spent time at my house in Vegas. It's a big house, but when you fill it with 12 different Magic players, it gets a little bit hard to kind of maintain.
Probably not going to sleep that well.
Yeah, people are coming and going at all hours, and I'm concerned about, who's going to break what. And luckily, I think very little was destroyed. So it was fun, though.
Yeah, it's a big space, though.
Yeah.
It's not that cramped. You could
Yeah,
fit
it was
a whole
very roomy. Yeah, there was space
Fight
for
Club
everyone.
type thing.
Yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, I ran pretty good at that tournament. There's no denying that. And then for this more recent one at Los Angeles, I don't know, I was a little bit not really that thrilled with Magic. I just came off a disappointing pro tour where we sort of squandered a day one record of 5-2, which I thought was a really strong record.
Hang on, what are you playing?
What deck? What's that?
Yeah. What were you playing?
At the Pro Tour, I played Dimir Death Shadow.
I saw that. It's sick ass.
There were two groups that came up with it. One was Josh Utter Layton and company, and the other was me, Oliver Tamaiko, and Noah Walker. With our own little group, and we were like, yeah, we're going to play this busted deck, and lo and behold, it was a busted deck. I was the only one in our little group who said, guys, the third color is not necessary. Just let's play a clean mana base. And it turned out that I think I hit the nail on the head, although I didn't really get the record that I wanted. We did really well on day one. Day two, things kind of fell apart. I lost some mirror matches. I lost to 2 blue-white Stoneblade decks, which is really a nightmare matchup for Death Shadow, just because they have True Name, they have Sword Snapcaster, they have Stoneforge Batterskull, and all of those are big problems. So that wasn't as good. We ended up losing in the last round to Team Hain, Flock, Rubin. So Steve Rubin, Alex Hain, and Yvonne Flock. And that was our match for any compensation. So we just came home with a 7-7 record, 2-5 on day two, and kind of a bitter taste. But so I was kind of off it. And plus, there's been a ton of drama recently in the Magic community. There's been
I see all these pros coming for each other's necks.
Yeah, accusations, bans. Then there was the Bertoncini thing, and there's just been a lot of negativity, and it's fine. I really do like to just focus on the game, and I think that all of this griping on the internet is really just a bad look all around. But okay, so that was happening. I was not super thrilled with Magic. I thought, all right, well, I'll just play a deck. I'll play a deck I like. What the hell? I saw that in Orlando, Corey Burkhart did well with blue-black mid-range, and very well that we had spent a ton of time working on blue-black mid-range shells that incorporated Gate to the Afterlife, Godfair's Gift back in the day, and that was super fun.
It's almost a year ago.
Yeah, it's been
10 months.
It's been a long time, but I had quite a love for that deck. I wasn't sure if it was better to play blue-black gift or blue-black mid-range. For a while, I said to everyone, you know what? I'm just going to YOLO it and play the deck, basically the same deck that I played 10 months ago at that Pro Tour. And then I tested it out online, and I thought, well, these cards aren't really doing what I want. All right, we'll try the Vraska's Contempts in the main deck rather than the Gate gift combos. And I think that overall it is a weaker deck than playing the Gates, but it is importantly better against red, which was, half the field or whatever, half the winning field. I think I played against it more than half of my matches.
How has Standard been for you over the past year?
How has Standard been?
The format, fun? The limited looks really fun.
The limited, yeah, Dominaria limited was fun. I I enjoyed M19. Actually, I played in two M19 Grand Prix. I wasn't. It's actually pretty astonishing. I wasn't really that focused on it. I just figured, all right, I'll play the multicolored good stuff decks in the sealed portion, and I'll figure out what's the good draft deck. And I was just gonna play kind of white swarm aggro.
Mm.
Um, and so I've only done like 4 booster drafts of the format, which were the 2 Grand Prix Day 2s, and I did
Mm.
really well. I actually went 12-3
Wow.
in one and 11-3-1.
Wow.
The
So
draw coming
you're
in the last round of
absolutely
Sacramento.
dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I went.
Mm. Can I ask
I
you this?
lost only 2 matches, I think, 2 or 3 matches out of the 12 I played. So I think it was like 9-2-1 or something like that.
Yeah. Can I ask
And
you a couple questions?
yeah, so
Just
please.
interrupt. I asked the first question, how is standard Ben? Meh, whatever. One word for that. Okay.
I don't think
Good.
it's bad. The Chain Whirler is pretty stupid. Like, they banned Ferocidon, and then they printed Chain Whirler. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Okay. Question for fun. Say that I'm gonna do a sealed. For fun, which would you recommend being more fun, Dominaria or M19?
I think Dominaria has more cool combos and fun stuff that you can do. They're both
Mm.
really good. I think I would say for sealed, I actually like M19
Yeah,
a
I love
little.
Corset. That's the answer I was hoping for.
Yeah, a little more. I mean, Dominaria is fun also, but I think M19 for sealed.
And then the other question is, so almost a year ago, we were going to tournaments. We went to Grand Prix. Where was the
Phoenix
Grand?
and
Yeah,
Albuquerque for the PT.
yeah, then Albuquerque. So I was eating my meals, and you came along for some of them at Whole Foods for
Oh man.
the dinners. What have you been eating?
That's a really good question, and I mean,
Yeah.
I could go on for a while. I did think about mentioning some of my secret tactics for doing well at these tournaments, keep my energy levels high.
You still on the eat nothing?
Yeah, so okay, there's a mix of things here. The first is, that dude Jordan Peterson. He's a big controversial figure, and right now he's promoting this all meat diet. He's saying like, dude, be ultra paleo, ultra keto. All these grains are toxic, and he was eating like meats and greens. And he said he fixed all his chronic fatigue problems. I don't know if I buy that, but what I do think is going on there is his body is going into an emergency mode because he's feeding it no good, easy sources of quick energy.
Mm.
And it's the same principle that's at work with things like intermittent fasting and calorie restriction, which theoretically and experimentally proven in some animals promote life extension and reduce
Mm.
aging, because your body goes into this like emergency mode, and you don't cell metabolism decreases, and there are a bunch of other physiological factors, but the one that works the best for me in the short term for these kind of fasting states is increased oxygenation of blood and increased blood flow to the brain. I feel euphoric.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, it's a friend of mine, Ethan Gajewski, who's also done well at a number of Magic
Yeah.
tournaments recently, said it is like taking, and I've never taken Adderall, but he compared it to taking Adderall without any of the
Having eaten
crash or
nothing.
downside.
Although I would say that it's really important if you're doing this that your one preceding meal was super good, right? You're eating really good
Yeah,
dinners.
I eat so theoretically, the what I'll try to do is something like go to Chipotle, order a burrito bowl with all the fixins,
Mm.
beans and veggies, and a hearty meal, lots of guac, and chow down,
Mm.
and then wake up the next morning, drink a lot of water and tea, maybe coffee, but I'm not much of a caffeine guy during the day. But hydrate heavily, and I just feel like I'm It's not like I'm, Neo seeing the Matrix when I play, but I just feel energetic. I don't feel sluggish. And I don't know if it's all psychosomatic, right? If I just think it and it's placebo effect, how much of it is
No,
real.
I think it's real.
I feel much better.
There's so much science behind the fasted state. A quick thing for those of y'all listening, like basically the reason why, I mean, is you're in rest and digest or hunt mode. When you're,
Yeah.
you know,
Hungry for the win.
the amount of blood you have circulating is zero sum. When you're digesting, it's diverted to the gut and everything involved with that, which is a lot. The gut brain is big and requires a lot of blood to operate. But if you keep it fasted, you keep the blood in your brain. So you're just, yeah, you have more, you're sharper for long.
Hmm.
I mean, the danger is though, like if you're not used to it, you start to get weak.
Lightheaded. You
Yeah.
can.
And then if you eat at that point, it's all over.
Yeah, you must practice this. Don't just do it for a tournament.
I don't do
Um,
this, by the way. I mean,
yeah,
I
it works for
fast the
some
first
people.
half of the day. I have a light lunch and a heavy dinner.
That is a perfectly acceptable pattern for somebody
Yeah.
with different metabolism. I mean, Trav, that you have a pretty fast metabolism.
Yeah.
I think mine is a little bit slower, but I enjoy this. I feel not euphoric at tournaments, but I feel focused. I don't think that it is like a deciding factor in my recent performances. I don't think it hurt, and I do feel just better. Like I enjoy myself more
That's
when
good.
I'm in these states. So yeah, I have been focused on eating just these big stir fries recently.
Mm.
Spinach, riced cauliflower, egg whites sometimes, or eggs sometimes, or I'll do beans, black beans, and onions, and then curry powder or soy sauce or something like that to give some flavor. I just make these massive pans of it, and that's my one big meal of the day. And I wash it down with water, sometimes with tea.
Yeah, right now, just to share mine, I'm on something different. It's also like what the people here are doing, so I'm a little more go with the flow, but I supplement. But we start work at 6:30, and we don't eat till 9:30. So and I didn't eat from the previous day till about 7. So I am fasted for uh do the math in that. 7 to midnight is 5 hours. Midnight to 9, say 14 hours. A 10-hour eating window.
Hmm.
Breakfast, it's most I do have a piece of bread, but it's mostly local fruit. Like we grow it or it comes through our valley. It didn't
Hmm.
travel far. And then lunch is usually, I mean, you'll lunch and dinner eating 3 meals, but it's all local. I mean, some of it's from Costco, but so much of it is stuff that we grow or fresh caught fish and so on. And it's feel great, feel really good.
I believe it. I mean, I'm eating the frozen stuff because it's convenient and easy for me to package. It doesn't go bad when I go away for trips and stuff and then come back. Just frozen veggies, which is fine, but I guarantee that you're just optimizing the closer you get to the bottom of the food chain, right? Like the origin.
Yeah, well, it's more like
Or the
so it's
start
a
of the
couple
supply chain.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's more just food degrading pretty quickly. I mean, you can do things like freeze it or salt it, but you're generally going to lose nutrients over time. So when you're focused on eating local, you can also focus on certain uh, varieties of food that might not have the best shelf life, but have really good properties. Whereas generally the stuff that's getting the conventional stuff, they have to focus on shelf life over everything else. The shelf
Yeah.
life is the most important thing. Taste is
Right.
second, nutrition is third. So
Because
it's just
once it
not
goes
as
bad, they can't
possible.
sell. Yeah.
Yeah. So generally that would be the reason to do local. I mean, you also, okay, less fuel is nice, but if you're just looking at diet, there's something real there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly do consider the impact of what I'm eating, like how carbon expensive my life is and my food is. Being vegetarian, it definitely benefits in that sense. But I could see trying to localize it as much as possible. Obviously, Las Vegas isn't the best environment for locally grown
No.
food.
It's probably one of the worst. Although, I mean, it doesn't need to be. You have great food coming from California right there,
Yeah,
so it's actually you can
avocados are super cheap.
eat quite well. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
actually. California is not far, and California grows the majority of the food for the U.S. really, at
Yeah.
least in the wintertime.
hmm So yeah, no, I think the diet does play an important role. I like talking about it. I like optimizing it. I have noticed. So okay, like I've been to the Indian buffet a number of times. I go, once every other week or so with my coworkers, and I notice myself feeling worse for the next day afterwards because I just
Mm,
gorge. I eat so much naan, and it's delicious, but it's not good for you.
yeah,
Compare that to I fasted for 22 hours,
God,
and I'm eating my next meal, and it's like, I'm eating eggs and cauliflower and onions and spinach.
that's crazy to me. I mean, I've
I
seen
feel
you do
great.
it. I was in your house for 2 weeks watching that. The one meal a day. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Because how do you eat? I feel yeah. It's really hard for me to eat enough food. I think.
Again, every body is different, right?
Yeah, I need more
you need
fuel.
to you need to train your body to work a certain way. I mean, you are a very wiry dude, and it makes sense that you need to keep fueling your body because you'll run out.
Also,
I'm not fat, but I have a little bit more of a store, and I think that
you
my
know,
body burns slower.
I think it's more about probably difference in lifestyle, and at this point, the difference in lifestyle coming from difference in career. Your computer job, you're just not spending as much,
I am
regardless of your metabolism.
sedentary.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I'm out in the field for 9 hours moving.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get really fucking skinny if I don't fight that off.
right. And yeah, in general, your food has less salt content than my food, for example.
Although we
There's
salt the fuck out of it, I also soak it up in the ocean. But
for real.
yeah, salt. I mean, if you're sweating buckets, then you have to replenish your salt,
Yeah, or you'll die.
especially if you're eating unsalted foods. You have to add salt, or you're gonna fuck yourself. It's kind
Yeah.
of interesting.
Yeah, I am always interested in hearing about that stuff. And I notice, so you're always running around being physical and being present in the world. I notice my mood is directly correlated to how much physical exertion I do that day. If I sit
Yes,
and play Moto all day, or I sit at work and I'm just like browsing my phone and like sitting, schlumping around, and never get sunlight, I feel way more miserable. I'm like a grumpier person. I think my testosterone levels drop. I just feel
definitely.
lethargic
Yeah.
compared to I go to the gym, and then afterwards I'm energetic. I'm like, let's do stuff.
Yeah, that's really why I veered into this career. Um, Not one because like it's actually boring to not work, so I'm gonna have a job, right? Well,
hmm
I can get paid through online business. Maybe pay doesn't matter. So like, what do I actually care about? What's something what is a healthy career? So it's like, okay, experimented with a few things, and farming kind of, or organic farming in particular, kind of made sense. Like I'm not really lifting or exercising too much outside of all the lifting and exercising I'm doing all day for work.
hmm
So a lot of that's diet and exercise is covered, 80% of it. Um, People here don't have to be really on it and are still real healthy just because of the lifestyle. So I can
Of
focus my
course.
energy on other things as well.
Well, it'll be good to get a break from it with the GP in
Yes,
Vancouver. Although I am envious a little bit of the fact that you have a lifestyle that meshes so well with your ideals. I think
yeah.
it's amazing.
Although I'll tell you, there's pros and cons. I'm really only advertising the pros.
Yeah,
So, you know,
for sure.
I have a baseline happiness kind of probably relatively whatever you're doing.
Yeah, everyone does. Well, yeah, so no, to get back to what the
Mm,
people wanted to hear. Yeah, so it's been good with Magic. I've been running pretty hot at these GPs. My ELO rating, even though that's not really official, went up a ton, and I'm thinking, well, things are going really well. I'm excited to play some more tournaments. Um, and then there's the Pro Tour in Atlanta coming up kind of soonish. So I'm excited for the new set, get to
Mm.
grinding that, and we'll see if I can't knock out an elusive Pro Tour top 8. This,
Do that, you'll be on track for platinum, huh?
if I go 11-5, I hit platinum.
That's so awesome, man. I really hope you do that.
I
That's
would
so epic.
be I would be ecstatic. That would be a big achievement. First time I ever do it. Yeah, these elusive, like top of the line statuses and finishes.
Hmm.
I've spent 8 or 9 years now chasing them,
Really?
and
Was that the goal?
well, it's on and off. I've always felt a little bit like I was a second tier player, and there's honesty there, but
Not anymore, maybe.
well, I have a lot of longevity, but I would
Yeah.
like to knock out some of these marquee finishes.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Get yourself that top 8. Yeah. So thanks so much. Everyone listening, um, Ben is still actively coaching every week in the mastermind. I'm not, but we have Simon Nielsen, who I'm trying to interview on Sunday. And we have Adam Yurchik, Jody Keith, and then lots of other pros and coming up amateurs. So those of you who want help getting better, you should
Reach out, hit us up.
yeah, there'll be a link to apply to join the mastermind, and Jerry Cox should be able to like give you a Q&A and answer any questions. He represents us, and if you don't hear from him, you can hit me up and I'll make sure you're good. So
Yeah, slide into our DMs.
slide into the DMs. Much love. And
Always great hearing from you, Trav.
yeah, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say in the comments.